Learn at Cloud Analytics. In this video, we are going to talk about the waterfall chart in Power BI. So let's quickly get into the demo part. So here, I'm just reusing the existing visual from my previous video, which is my ribbon chart, and I will try to convert this into a waterfall chart. Okay, so in order to convert this, I can just select this existing visual and select the waterfall chart from my visualization pane. So the moment you select this particular visual, the chart has been transformed from ribbon chart to a waterfall chart. Okay, so this is one way of doing if you have an existing chart. However, if you would like to build the same chart without transforming it from an existing one, how you can do it? So let's quickly see that. So I've deleted everything and I'll just expand my fields pane here. Now I would just select my waterfall chart and try to expand it, and then I will use my superstore data set for this requirement and use my so as you see here, the moment I've selected this waterfall chart, the fields that I have to use here has been divided into category, breakdown and values. So your category is nothing but your x-axis. So for that I would like to use my year. So I'll select this year and place that on my category, and the value I'm looking at is the profit. So I'd like to see how my profit is uh, progressed over that specific time interval and based on the category breakdown. Okay, so in this way you can quickly build a waterfall chart in Power BI. Now let's try to understand what are these waterfall charts and how do we analyze the data within this particular chart. Okay, so waterfall charts are specifically helpful if you would like to analyze or track that particular metric or that particular data, how it is progressing over that particular time interval or probably over that particular x-axis, right? So you can quickly understand if that particular data value had made some increase or probably if it has made some decrease within that particular x-axis duration, right? So in this example, as you notice, we have the x-axis values based on the year, which is my 2018, 2019 till 2021 range, and the measure that we are trying to analyze is based on my profit, and this particular visual had been broken down based on my category. So every year, during that particular range of x-axis value, which is my time range, I had broken down my profit values with respect to my category. Right now, if you observe, I see that there has been a legend also being populated, which is helping me to understand or interpret this particular visual in a very helpful manner. So you notice that the green legend is notifying with the increase in that value, and red indicates that there has been a drop in that particular value. So let's see this with this example. So within the time interval of 2018 to 2019, for this particular technology, there is an increase on the value. However, when it is compared to the furniture category, the profit had been decreased when it is compared to that of the previous year. Okay, so you can also see that from the tooltip information. So as you hover this cursor on your uh, furniture category data, you see this information being listed as the name of the category and the values of the corresponding years, like 2018 profit and the 2019 profit. So here you could observe that when it is compared to that of 2018 profit, 2019 it has a decrease in the overall profit, and therefore the profit change has been noticed as a or it is observed to be as a loss of 44.75%, which is a tremendous amount of loss being observed. So in this way, you are able to make a better analysis within your respective data to quickly see where did the losses happen over that particular time interval, and in which specific category do you observe that loss being observed. And similarly, if you see, Though we have seen a loss being incurred during 2019 year, right, for this particular furniture category, during the interval of 2019 and 2020, you do not see that loss. However, there had been an increase in the overall profit when it is compared to that of 2019 profit, right? So therefore, the overall growth percent has been compared here as 130.83%. And during this particular 2021 interval, again the growth had been reduced, and therefore there had been a tremendous increase in the loss percentage, right? So in this way you're able to deep dive into that particular data with respect to the category and the year in this specific example to understand where do you observe the growth and the loss being observed. So now let's come back to the actual visual, that is a waterfall chart. So waterfall chart is basically making use of the running total values. So which means that it is taking the running sum or the running total values over that particular time interval, which are been projected as either an growth or a decrease in that particular interval, right? So it would help us to understand how that initial value has been affected by a series of positive and negative value changes, right? So as you see here, for this particular interval there had been a loss being incurred, but when it is compared to that of 2021, this loss has been little bit lower, right? And you can observe that how much growth had been observed for that particular category and in that particular time interval as well. So this is where the importance of a waterfall chart is quite important. And these blue bars that you see here, right, so these are resembling the overall profit for that particular year, while these distribution are just been broken down for that particular year with respect to that category. Okay, so in this way you are able to um, track the changes of that particular data over the specific interval or in that specific time range or maybe a specific period, right? So this is where you can utilize the waterfall charts in Power BI and how you can build that from the scratch, and which fields are being considered here for your analysis. Okay, so the next chart that we have here is the funnel chart. So I'll just transform this waterfall chart into a funnel chart, and what you observe here is that you see that the overall years has been transformed from the x-axis to the y-axis. So that's the first difference that you notice here, and then you also see that uh, the overall data had been transformed into a horizontal bars which are overlaid on top of each other, and you also observe that there has been a measure of the percentages, like this is like with respect to 100%, and how is the data being distributed over the series of years next to that, right? So funnel charts are basically helpful to visualize the process that has got several stages and how the items are flowing sequentially from one stage to another stage. So I can give you an example when you can use a funnel chart. So this would be helpful specifically to a marketing domain. So probably if you're dealing with some marketing related data and you would like to analyze how your leads have been generated and how the leads have been like the different phases of that particular opportunity and the leads, right? So you can just go through that. So with that particular funnel chart, so here you can just observe like okay, what is a lead and what is a qualified lead, or probably what is a prospect and what is a contract and when did it close. So you can see like the different stages of that particular sales or probably the profit, how it has been uh, progressed over that particular time interval, right? So since here we've using the year as the y-axis, we've been talking about the year, but if you would like to evaluate based on this particular data, right, like the marketing data, you would have that being shown up on your y-axis, which is your lead and quality and so on and so forth, right? So the different types of stages that it has got within the data, so you would have to analyze it. So in this way, when you would like to analyze how this data, or how the process is, how the items have been sequentially flowing from one stage to the other stage, you can use a funnel chart in Power BI. Okay, so this is the main purpose of considering a funnel chart in Power BI. So I hope you understood thoroughly the difference between both a waterfall and a funnel chart, and when do we use a waterfall chart and a funnel chart. So a waterfall chart is basically important when you like to track the changes with respect to your data, like when you like to see if there has been an increase or a decrease of values over that particular category, right? But and that is based on a running total values. Now, the funnel chart is specifically important when you like to analyze or see how your data has been sequentially flowing from one stage to another stage. And for that, I've given an example to a marketing data, like where you have a lead, prospect, and all different types of stages that goes through that process, right? So if you'd like to evaluate, what is that total value, or how much time did it take in that particular stage, or so depending on what you exactly would like to evaluate, you can use a funnel chart. So that would help you to uh, bring in better insights out of your given data and the business. So that's it for today. So I hope you understood both these charts together. So in the next video, we will be looking at the other charts that we have in Power BI. Thank you.